Hey, Good Shepherd kids, welcome back to another Kids Worship Recap. Today we are focusing on gentleness, and our Bible story teaches us just that about Jesus and how gentle he is when he is showing us love and guiding us in our lives. If you like what you see on our YouTube channel, I highly encourage you to go check out gstx.org so you can see more information about what we do here at Good Shepherd. Without further ado, please check out this week's Bible story. Today's Bible story that will teach us something epic comes from the book of Acts. The story begins with a man named Saul. Saul hated the people who followed Jesus. Saul would look for anyone who believed in Jesus and take them to trial in Jerusalem and even seek to murder them. Saul was eager to hurt all of Jesus' followers. So he found the high priest and asked him to write a letter to the Jews in Damascus. The letter would allow Saul to find any followers of Jesus and arrest them in chains and bring them back to Jerusalem for trial. So Saul traveled to Damascus, but as he came near, a bright light shined from heaven, and Saul heard a voice that said, "Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?" Saul cried out, "Who are you, Lord?" The voice responded, "I am Jesus. Rise and go into the city, and you will be told what to do." So Saul got up and opened his eyes, but Saul was blind. So the men who were with him led him into the city. Once in the city, a man named Ananias came to Saul and put his hands on him. Saul could see again. This made Saul believe in Jesus. With his changed heart, Saul started teaching people about God's mercy that he had received. Then he went by a new name. He was Saul. Now his name is Paul. And Paul continued teaching to more people. All right, Kids Worship. So you just got to see that Bible story about Saul. And more importantly, about Saul turning into Paul after Jesus had been gentle and merciful and graceful with him. Now, at the beginning, when Saul was tough and rugged and he was mean, right? He was hurting other people who believed in Jesus just because they believed in Jesus. And we can kind of say that he was tough. He might have been really strong to do all of those things. But if Jesus would have approached him with more toughness and anger and the power that God really does have, do you think that Saul would have really trusted Jesus and then turned into a believer? Instead, Jesus showed him mercy, showed him how powerful he is in a gentle way without hurting him, and then allowing him to see again and making him a believer in Jesus. So when we think about gentleness, we typically think about our hands or our body being gentle, not hurting others around us. But instead, today I want to really focus on our words. And I've got two eggies here, two very cute, adorable little eggies. They each have a smiley face on them. And we usually think of eggs as being fragile. We have to be careful when we're holding them. They break really easily. But I want to show you something kind of cool. If you pinch and push on this as hard as you can, I'm not very strong, but I know that I've seen this before, and I'm pinching as hard as I can. This egg is not breaking. It's not. I'm not being gentle with it at all, right? So my hands are not being gentle, and I'm really trying to break it. It's just not working. And that kind of makes the egg seem tough, right? Now I'm using two hands, and I'm still not breaking it. But sometimes our words can really affect how people around us feel. And even though they might seem tough on the outside, they might feel a certain way on the inside. So when you say something mean to somebody, or you, instead of approaching them with kindness and love, you get angry really quickly, you may hurt their feelings. And on the inside, they may feel something and it may not come out right away. Let's see if this egg is as strong. Oh, it's pretty strong. This is... And now the really sad part is we can't put this back together, right? So this person, our little egg, even though we were really ungentle and we were not very kind to this egg, now it can't be put back together. There's no way to put this egg back in its shell. So that's why our words and our gentleness and the way we approach people around us is so important. And Jesus shows us that with Saul. And then Saul turned into a believer. And more importantly, he was able to use that experience that he had with Jesus to then be more encouraging and teaching to people around him and leading them to Jesus. That's awesome. That's exactly what Jesus wants for us in our lives. And instead of using our anger and our emotions to maybe hurt somebody else.